Shepard's new novel for a book plate event, partly because he's someone who has like a real cult following among readers and especially among writers. He's taught writing for a long time. He's had a number of books. I think he's written 6 novels and 4 short story collections. He is the ideal author that you would want to sit down across the table from, have a beer with, be like, so where does it come from? How do you do what you do? Tell me about your characters.
And I say you have to pick your favorite, but you can't pick your own. And then we, depending on the highest vote getters, we just close read each sentence going down the line.
It was a little bit of a challenge thinking about making a really wonderful meal around the Book of Aron because it's set in the Warsaw Ghetto during World War II.
You know, the bleakness of the subject is really nicely counteracted by the notion that this culture that the Nazis tried to wipe out was not in fact wiped out.
Doing this food pairing, having like great new interpretations of Eastern European Jewish food as a way of celebrating their survival and the vitality of Jewish traditions.
I do have relatives that went through that same difficult period of time. My great-grandfather started a restaurant 110 years ago in New York City, and it lasted for 100 years, called Ratner's. And it was famous for its pierogies and flintzes. So I grew up in this environment.
Part of what literature is trying to do is get you to extend your empathetic imagination and to make you feel on a little bit more personal and visceral level stuff that you could get out of a history book intellectually, but you would know it on a different level. You would know it in a way that's sort of like, oh yeah, I understand people went through certain things. But one of the things literature can try to do is get you into a more intimate position with that information and sort of make you think, well, it's not like I was there, but I do now have a more vivid sense of some of the things that went on there.
It was really interesting to think about like a kid who has like normal appetites, but you're in this environment where you never have enough. And I think, obviously, that's not something we're trying to recreate, but it becomes a really precious experience to sit down and be like, I have enough, we have all this bounty, we're sharing it together with our family and friends, we're safe, we're free.
Every so often there would be a moment when there would be this enormous treat where somebody would bring back one sausage, or they would bring back one half of a loaf of black bread, or the sorts of things that, or some of the relishes or toppings that we have tonight. And that would be something that the whole family would have to divvy up in very, very small portions. My character tended to miss out on those things and come home and have his brothers say, oh yeah, we just finished it, it was great.
Chopped liver would be considered a celebratory thing. That's why, there's chopped liver. Salmon and, cured and pickled and smoked salmon bellies. So that's why I made a salmon rillette.
Very filling, very comfort-oriented, very much the sort of food that would make you feel that you've built a whole little domestic space around this. I think of them as winter foods in some ways, even though it's summer, because they sort of fill the belly and they keep you warm and that kind of thing.
This food is humorous to me, it's love to me, it's my family.
There are pierogies involved, and those obviously were a big staple in the ghetto.
So I'm making a more festive pierogi, I'm making lamb belly confit pierogies. I'm making borscht. I'm making a smoked kielbasa. Now I granted that's not very kosher. It's made with pork, but we're celebrating Poland.
There's a lot of oral histories of what it's like to grow up in Poland, what it's like to grow up in Poland, and Jewish, what it's like to grow up in Warsaw. There's a lot of that stuff out there. And the more I read, the more I started channeling these sorts of voices, I think. And then I started thinking, no, I'm going to do one of these little boys, I think.
Holocaust literature or Holocaust theme is more of like a genre now. So, I'm not sure I'm going to change anyone's perspective on what the Holocaust was, or what, it is. But I'm hoping that maybe I can make people think of Polish food not as much as a punchline, and maybe it's something that can be delicious.